I'm Jambo Watuwangu. In today's session, we're going to cover understanding the importance of living by sankofa. Okay, sankofa, translated in Anglo, is return and get. Okay, that's the literal translation. Sankofa. Sankofa is Akan language, the language of Kwampim, or you just know the general language as tree. There are various forms of tree, but the general context of tree. Sankofa. Go back and get. Go back and claim is a return. The meaning of sankofa, as far as its life lesson, is to live retrospectively with introspection. Again, to live retrospectively with introspection. Hence, you are able to make informed decisions in the present that best translate to desirable outcomes for the present in the interest of the future. That is what sankofa necessitates or dictates our demands. So when you are looking to, let's say, purchase a property, if you are going for financing, what do the potential financiers ask for? Records. They are looking at history. Same thing if you are not well physiologically and you go in for medical assistance, medical help. Okay, what does the attending healthcare provider look at? Your medical history. If you want to get a position somewhere, or if you are hiring for a position, you people into a position in your hospice, you look at their what? History. If you meet someone, a male, you meet a female you meet a male that you want to get with, okay? Yes, on the onset, you don't know much of anything. Okay, the attraction physiologically, yes, is there. But now, in getting to know each other, you begin to learn the history. Okay? The present is dictated by history, the past, that is. That's what history is, the past. So, even 3 or so minutes into this teaching, we are talking history. The past conversation or the past things that have been said. You want to purchase a vehicle, you look at history, okay, of the car. Otherwise, if you ignore history, what is literally going to happen is you are going to suffer the consequences. So if somebody is literally out of their minds, okay, psychopath or sociopath, and you don't know that and you get with them, what is going to happen? You are going to what? Experience the consequences of ignoring the fact of the matter. Right? If you purchase a building, you haven't done your due diligence and looked into its history, you may end up with expenses which you have otherwise been well able to avoid if you took time to look at the history, to understand the history. So everything that we interact with, you get the point. you're applying to a university for a program and the like, they are going to look at your subject matter history to see if you qualify for whatever criteria that they've said. Everything in life is contingent on history when you're making decisions concerning what? Mahusiano, relationships. Remember again, the two factors, the two fundamental factors that everything in life is dictated by, okay, is mchikato na mahusiano. Processes and relationships. So now, what more then when it comes to you, daughter or son of Alkebu-Lan? You subscribe to the narrative of, oh, forget your history. It's in the past. Does that make sense to you? Obviously not. When it comes to you, daughter or son of Alkebu-Lan, knowing your history of self, even history of self, is the first premise to understanding the history of a collective. Because understanding, again, retrospective assessment into history allows you to be positioned and prepared to make informed what? Qualified decisions. So that means anyone encouraging or discouraging you, better yet, from vesting in living by sankofa, that means they want you naive for one purpose, to take advantage of you. Simply put, because they are a benefactor or beneficiary of ignorance. Ignorance of yourself. Ignorance of the realities of the world. They are benefactors and or beneficiaries. And or they are dependent on benefactors and beneficiaries of your debilitated ignorance. So it is my esteemed and honored obligation to guide you, continue to guide you, provide guidance, okay, to transcend debilitative ignorance of self and the realities of this world, okay, where you are then positioned in transformative ownership of your mind. And you are getting winning results, applying yourself substantively, okay, substantively, and getting winning results in the right cultural reality, right? That literally benefits you in your lifetime and is intergenerationally translated. It is my duty to lead and guide you, root you into right-mindedness. So, again, let me emphasize this point. Because one is oblivious and or chooses to be naive or in denial of a historical relevant matter, does not mean that in their naivete or their denial or their lack of acknowledgement, they are not impacted by it. Because you deny, refuse, ignore, or want to remain oblivious because of the pain or whatever the silly reason. Yes, silly. Because As a descendant of Alkebu-Lan, you must take charge in your lifetime to right the wrongs and set the tone for generations that are alive today and those yet to come to what? To build upon. That is Alkebu-Lan. So yes, silly. Okay. For whatever silly reason that one you want to literally ignore, remain naive, and the like, does not mean that you are not impacted by the consequences thereof. If I am going to literally purchase a building and I do not do my due diligence, get assistance for folks to come and inspect or give me a record or my team a record and the like, and we literally just purchase. Let's say if this building has had issues with plumbing and the like, you think we're going to be exempt from it? No, now it's our burden to bear. If you have a alignment, health-wise, psychophysiologically, and you choose to ignore it for whatever reason, because you don't want to face it and the like, you think it's just going to go away because you choose to ignore it? The consequences you will bear. What more, those that are what? Connected to you as well. So in not addressing matters or understanding matters to address, it is what? Mchikato, the process of what? Degeneration takes place. If I am onboarding someone onto the team, or you're onboarding someone onto your team, if you have an establishment, or even if you are looking to build a family, okay, or continue as an extending your family, and in the onboarding process, you are ignoring the history, understanding that person's history. You think the locomotion in here that is loose and the like won't impact you? Or even if you have unaddressed things, it won't impact them and it won't impact anybody else connected to you. We are all interconnected to beings and energies and entities beyond ourselves. So introspectively, you live retrospectively for the interest of making informed decisions. So when it comes to needing to live by sankofa, that is what sankofa is. That's one of the principles, the kanuni of Alkebu-Lan. Kanuni uungozi sabaya Alkebu-Lan, which I will we will go through in the next couple of sessions. Okay, understand? Kanuni uungozi saba. There are 7 principles of Alkebu-Lan leadership that has to be ingrained in your faculties that you live by. Okay, wanafunzi wa sankofa, kanuni imbili. Okay, the second kanuni, the second principle, be a disciple of history. Okay, so history must be according to what? Your narrative. That is the narrative of Alkebu-Lan, and we'll also get into that as it is, okay, in the next segment. So taking from this, understand that you are a historical representation. Your mama and baba had a boom 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 one time for you to be here today. Your historical representation. I'm a historical representation of that. What was the relational context when that energy went into informing?